So we came into today wanting to see how price was going to be trading versus that prior day's range. Typically, when you have an inside day on the daily time frame chart, you want to look for that inside day breakout. You want to look for a break of that inside day's range. In the case of today, we're looking for any type of continuation up and through that prior day high. This morning, we can see that buyers failed to sustain the prior day high and price rolled over, testing some of our lower levels of interest. We had the 54.65 and then the 54.50 downside level of interest tested. You can see that 30-minute hammer was put in there at the level of interest, and price pretty much never looked back, now closing on the highs. So what we have here coming into CPI tomorrow is near-term bullish activity, right? Buyers really showing up following that low that was marked on Friday and then the gap higher for Monday's session. Good continuation today. Now coming into last week's structure point, right through here, last week's range. So for tomorrow, we're going to be looking at whether or not buyers can continue this near-term bullish price action up and through today's high, up and through that 55.10 level of interest to trade back into last week's range. Now, this area will definitely be trickier. You have the major pivot right through there. This is last week's volume point of control, and then a key area of resistance into that 55.40 as well. One of the challenges with the current setup, like I talked about this morning in the live stream, is the fact that in the near term, just the past 2 sessions or so, we have bullish price action, but when you zoom out, when you look at more of the intermediate term setup, we're still within the context of bearish activity, right? If we flip to the 4-hour chart, remember, we're dealing with what was a daily time frame breakdown. So you had about a 2-week range right through there. Price actually triggers the breakdown. You get a retest of the breakdown point. Price trades lower. On this chart, on this 4-hour chart, there's no change of character until price trades up through this point, up through that 55.40 area. So anytime I call this like a multiple time frame misalignment. Anytime you have this multiple time frame misalignment, you just want to be cautious with how you're getting involved, making sure you're getting involved with good trade location and with higher time frame structure on your side, right? One of the challenges with the action this morning up near prior day high is the fact that price had just put in pretty large rally during the overnight sesh, right? This is pretty much a one-directional move with no pullbacks from that overnight low. So anytime you have, a big extension move, you want to be expecting a pullback. Big extension move, pullback. Big extension, pullback, right? This morning's no different. Big extension, okay, pullback. Now another big extension. So we'll see how that overnight action looks, where we're trading as we get into CPI. CPI is definitely a market moving event. So I'll be looking to potentially trade after the CPI announcement, assuming we have some levels to work with. And again, 55.10 will be on watch. Let's take a look at today's structure here in ES. So we do have a lot of volume being done near that 5,500. That'll be a psychological level. It's where price rejected this morning. So some pretty good action. The gap higher from Friday, or from Monday morning, continues to be defended, right? Price did not break through yesterday's low. That is significant. So this open gap right through here still being defended. So it's definitely looking better in the near term for buyers, but big picture says they're not out of the woods just yet. Let's jump over to NQ. NQ definitely looked a little better today, in my opinion. We had some much stronger action versus that prior day high. It's the same type of approach here in NQ for today. Wanting to see if buyers could trigger that inside day breakout. We had a couple of decent long setups versus that prior day high. That was my personal main focus this morning, trading in the live stream today. Then you get the retest down into that 18,700 area, right? That's one of our levels of interest. And again, responsive buying activity. Challenge is that the intraday structure started to set up a series of lower highs. Price breaks lower back into that prior day value area low. Some significant support through there. That's also the pre-market low. And then again, pretty nice bounce. So if you actually take a look at 15-minute chart, right? The near term shows us pretty clear structure, series of higher lows and higher highs. Again, just focusing on the near term. Now, intermediate term, very similar to ES. We're still in that downtrend, still dealing with what was a daily time frame breakdown. So the setup does remain tricky, but price is definitely back within last week's range. Here was last week's range, right through there. Right, price is poking its head back up into that range. So for tomorrow, we want to see if that 18,820 area can hold as support. If price is going to offer another pullback. Of course, CPI is the curveball to watch for tomorrow. So we'll see what type of location we have post CPI, what we have to work with. Ideal scenario is that buyers can continue this near-term structure, right? Push price up through 18,900, up into last week's volume point of control, potentially into 19K, where there is a lot of resistance sitting in this area. But as far as pre-CPI watch, we'll be looking at 18,820 as the key area of support from last week. Served as resistance today. If you take a look at the actual intraday chart, we had that initial push into 820 right off the open, and then a very, very swift rejection there. So 820 continues to be a key level. You can see the consolidation here into the close, and then buyers are able to resolve higher. So like I mentioned in yesterday's session recap, we do have a bit of a change in character in how price is actually trading, but not a change in character in the higher time frame structure just yet. So a series of higher lows, buyers definitely showing up more than they have for the past couple of weeks, but market structure poses some challenges here. So stay nimble. We definitely have multiple time frame misalignment right now. If buyers can break up through that 19K area, that would be significant. That would start to show a change in character of this higher time frame market structure. Look at the most recent significant lower high here. It's right through here. That was that post NFP move. I don't know if you guys remember NFP on Friday. You had the pretty big rally. Price retest the week's volume point of control. That's that blue level right through there, and sets up that lower high to just puke it for a trend day lower. So that is definitely a significant point through there. So we'll see how it unfolds. CPI, definitely a market moving and potentially tradable event. I'll definitely be watching for any setups that we can work with tomorrow morning. If you guys have questions about anything, as always, you can send me a DM. Hope you guys had a great day, and I'll see you tomorrow morning. Have a good afternoon.